So thank you, Vincent, for such a warm welcome. It's really a pleasure to be here at the Hub Forum. Vincent and the event organizers really asked that I share a little bit with you about the role of the Microsoft Devices Group, what we do at Microsoft, and how that relates to much of what you're doing. Because very much we are in the business of helping people to deliver great new experiences in a mobile and a cloud world. Now, mobility and the cloud together are opening up so many possibilities across every industry and across every discipline, including marketing. Not since the advent of advertising in its modern form almost 100 years ago has there been such a monumental transformation in an industry. It's truly amazing. From traditional to digital, offline to online, or both, from mass consumerization to intense personalization, mobility, the cloud, all of these things are giving us just the most exciting ride that we can imagine in our life. Now, more and more consumers are becoming professional power users of technology, with more and more devices in their hands, more and more technology attached to their body, in their homes, in their lives, all of which is increasingly powered by cloud-based applications that span both what you do in your digital life as well as what you do in your digital work. And that's an interesting point, is our digital lives and our digital works are wonderfully intertwined. There is no separation today between what you do in your digital life and what you do in digital work. And it is at that point, the intersection of digital life and digital work, that we at Microsoft see as an incredibly exciting opportunity. However, against this exciting backdrop, many of us still face some very major challenges. With such innovation, many marketers debate how to expand beyond simple measurements like the number of impressions, the number of click-throughs, searches, retweets, and all of those types of things. Many of us who deal with marketing are still grappling with balancing the tried and true marketing techniques with emerging digital market automation capabilities, all of the things that we have to do to become more sophisticated with analytics, with monitoring the social environment. All of this is creating more complexity for us. Now, like you at Microsoft, we think of new and innovative ways to engage people with our brand and to enrich our relationships on a one-on-one basis, literally with billions of people who use Microsoft technology every day. Many of those people are fans, they're followers, some of them are critics to be sure, but we want to engage with each and every one of them. With all of these amazing tools, with such progress, I believe, though, fundamentally, it is the experience that we deliver to our customers that will ultimately define our brand and the meaning of all of our companies in the future. So at Microsoft, we define marketing by experiences, not just the product, the features, the technology, or the sales process through which we're trying to lead a customer, but rather in delighting every single person we touch every single day. Now, marketers, ourselves at Microsoft and all of you, have to understand that devices, phones in particular today, have become the one device that is inseparable from the consumer. It is the one device that you will go home to retrieve if you have left without it. As customers become more deeply bound with their devices, these always-on, always-connected devices, marketers must design experiences with mobility in mind and in mind first. That's why at Microsoft we talk about it being a mobile-first, cloud-first world. We have to start with mobility. Now, these experiences that are so close and so deeply connected to you, that are with you every day, they lead to the opportunity to connect to people in ways that we've never been able to do. And I want to share a video with you that helps to characterize how we think about the depth of connection we want to establish with people through mobility. Let's take a look.
I'm going to have to think about this for a second here. I can edit out my silence.
I have a little daughter, and when I got photographs of her, because I was sort of in transition back to London, and I got sent an email with a photograph.
She sent me, she sang happy birthday to me, and I picked it up on my phone. It was a message, and it was just this year. and it was totally heartwarming.
The voicemail my dad left like a week ago, and all it said was that he was proud of me and everything I'm doing, and that I'm really strong and I amaze him.
It was just like her just being born, and so all the elements were not that, it wasn't that pretty, but just covered in ketchup, but it was a good photograph, wasn't it? What about the emotion?
Recently, Lil Wayne shouted me out. I skate, he skates too, so Lil Wayne shouted me out. So big ups to Lil Tunchi.
She could just sing it for you.
No.
She's got a great voice.
Well, you know what? It just happened to us a little while ago. We got a text message on our phones to let us know that our flight back to London was cancelled.
I keep all my sketches, all my layouts, everything on here, so I don't have to hold stacks of blueprints and rolls or tubes or anything like that.
It was when you ever played that game 2048. You know that game 2048? It was when I got the 4096 tile. I worked so hard to get that. That game is really difficult, and that was a big moment in my life.
I was just in a meeting earlier today with Barney's, and I didn't have the photos printed out that I needed, so I pulled up my cell phone, and I was able to take them through the entire lookbook.
I was thrown into a meeting where I had no idea who the people were. I quickly checked my phone, went on LinkedIn, searched the name of the person sitting across from me. It saved the conversation, we landed the client, and we ended up working with them for the next 2 years.
No, we're already beyond. It's gone.
Oh.
Right, there's no.
That's weird.
I had a particular ringtone that I only used for one girl, and whenever she would call, that would ring, and that ringtone, it just meant something to me, and whenever I heard it, it just felt really good that she called.
Picture of my parents for my parents. They're slightly older, so the fact that they've figured out how to text and send emails was powerful, and then getting pictures was even better.
Oh, shit.
Happy birthday, dear Mom. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, God.
I love seeing that video because it really shows about connection. That's what we're all trying to accomplish. At Microsoft, the devices group, the group that I lead, has a very clear priority to help people do more with all of our technology. The goal of the hardware that Microsoft creates is to showcase the very finest digital and life experiences. We will be the place where the very best of Microsoft's experiences, their operating systems, the cloud-based platform, all of these things come together, including capabilities like CRM. We will create the hardware that puts Microsoft's best experiences into your hands in the most personal of ways. Now, this also means that we within Microsoft have this very important obligation to all of our customers and to the rest of the company. And that is that we must be the ones that insist that everything that we produce comes together, is well integrated, and lights up things beautifully for the customer, because that's how we want the customers to see it. So we're the ones that need to make sure that our colleagues understand what defines, what creates, what means an amazing experience. How does that all come together? Because it is only when it all comes together in someone's hand, on their desktop, on their wall, on their television set, that we can really experience everything we set out to do. So, when we think about this as a company, we realize that we have to make different levels of investment in different categories of hardware as a company. For example, if you think about the very largest devices that we make, we're going to start with something very big called the PPI devices. These devices from a company that we acquired called Perceptive Pixel, they are leading devices in very large screen, multi-touch, consumer engaging experiences, sometimes in a boardroom, sometimes in a retail setting. It can be anywhere. When we first acquired this company, they were pretty well making this class of technology, this experience, by hand, one giant device at a time. Today, we have thousands of these devices in a variety of different settings, and the result of that is that we're seeing an opportunity to really expand how we engage with consumers in all sorts of settings, from individual offices all the way out to the retail setting. So building on the momentum that we've already established with these devices, we're looking to expand the production capability of this and to make sure that these devices land in many new settings in the future. Here in Paris already today, I've met with a number of very large and very famous retailers who are looking at this class of experience in order to drive a different in-store experience in terms of how they do active marketing when a customer, or particular a known customer, walks into the store. Now, in the case of personal computers, another category of hardware, this is a situation where there are many large companies building large numbers of PCs every day. This is an area where we don't have to invest so much because the ecosystem is there and it's happening and all of those types of things. But at the same time, we look forward and say there are some new opportunities. There are new opportunities to drive in the area of tablets, for example. And this is something we've said very deliberately. There's an opportunity for Microsoft to extend its experiences into a category dominated, as I look through the audience today, very heavily by one of our competitors. Surface Pro 3 is a great example of a tablet product that is truly changing things. It was just introduced here in France a few weeks ago, and already it's off to an amazing start. It is the best productivity tablet because there's really no compromise as we've introduced this product. You can create, you can consume. You can do work, you can be creative, all at the same time. We've brought this product to 25 geographies so far, and you'll see that continue to expand as we go forward. The feedback from consumers here in France and elsewhere around the world is amazingly positive, particularly, unquestionably, with the creative community. People who are designing clothes, people who are engineers, people who are doing marketing, people who are designing store layouts are using this product because it's both productive and creative and has a number of capabilities to do that. In short, it removes the conflict between consuming and creating. It empowers people to actually do both. Here in France, there's already a number of examples of companies who are making significant investments in moving forward with this class of technology. For example, Société Générale has selected Microsoft as a trusted partner to lead their digital transformation end-to-end. Over the next year, they will equip all of their employees with Windows companion devices. They will deploy a minimum of 60,000 devices to put into the hands of people the ability to be creative in how they're serving their customers, highlighting a digital transformation that's already underway. Another example here in France is Nexity, a French real estate agency. They've equipped 800 of their employees with Surface Pro 2s and Surface Pro 3s to help those people engage better with their customers. You can see that transformation and the opportunity to drive a single message across multiple platforms, ultimately to the customer. And then we have another category of devices on which we're focused and delivering that Microsoft capability, and that is the case of phones. In the case of phones, we are focused on making the market. We're starting from a position of being a challenger in this market, and we're focused on making our mobile ecosystem stronger and stronger, creating an opportunity for other manufacturers to enter. This was a key goal in the acquisition of the Nokia devices business by Microsoft just a few months ago. Now we're thinking about the phone business through a new lens because the role of phones within Microsoft is very different than it was at Nokia. In the case of Nokia, the business of phones was essentially about the device that was put into someone's hands. But at Microsoft, we think of it not just as the device, but the place where all of our experiences, all our marketing capacity, everything we do comes together into a single point. It's a very different point of view. So with the Lumia phones from Microsoft, we light up Microsoft's digital work and digital life experiences. We're building momentum, and as you can see, we will continue to drive innovation at every price point. This is very apparent here in Europe. We've been accelerating our pace of driving great innovation to lower and lower price points, putting it into the hands of more people. We made a series of announcements in Berlin just a couple of weeks ago, talking about the Lumia 730 and 830, which brings incredible imaging capabilities to far more accessible price points. And with a slim design, the Lumia 830 is an amazingly affordable device that brings high-end capability to people at more affordable price points. So overall, you'll have the devices, but you'll have the entire Microsoft experience. And from a marketing perspective, that multi-channel approach where our capabilities in advertising, online placement, all of those things span from those largest devices through tablets, through phones, and beyond. Now, the hardware team at Microsoft is also very focused on Xbox. The Xbox product is in a brand new generation. It's in the very early stages of introduction into the marketplace, and it plays a critical role in our strategy as a company. And the reason it's so important is because Xbox gives us a strategic foothold in the category of gaming. And when you study where people spend their time when they're using their devices and how they spend their money in technology, one of the top areas is gaming. Indeed, on personal computers, something like 30% of the use of personal computers is for all forms of gaming. So what this means is with Xbox, we and you have the opportunity to extend your experience, your messaging, the sponsorships and everything else into the home. Again, all part of one consistent platform. And we're committed to bringing Xbox to as many committed fans as we possibly can. Over the last few months, we've introduced it into 29 more markets around the world. You'll see Xbox One momentum continue to build through the end of the year. Now, we must appeal to people in their digital lives as Microsoft so that we can continue to appeal to them in the workplace. We are about productivity, but we have to help people both in their work and lives. So what you will see us continue to do in the weeks and months ahead is to continue to invest in hardware capabilities and devices, but in new form factors, in new areas, in new things that are going to be very important in how you connect with people over time. So watch this space for a lot of new innovation and new types of devices in the mobile environment. So our success, your success with us, comes down to this. It will be the totality of these experiences, the totality of these different devices all together that will really set our products apart. We invest over $10 billion a year in R&D. At the end of the day, we have to land all of that in people's hands so that we can communicate with them and give them a great experience. Now, before I close, I wanted to give you an example of a global customer who brings together the best of Microsoft, who exemplifies the very best of a consumer experience driving their business. With the help of Microsoft and our partner community, this particular company has used our products and services as a competitive edge in a very rough and tumble, or should I say turbulent industry. Before I continue, I'm happy to hear that the Air France strike is over and its pilots are flying again. This company is in a US airline, and they are transforming their in-flight experience for their 160 million customers every year. Take a look.
Delta is a global airline serving 360 destinations. We fly over 160 million customers a year. We have 20,000 flight attendants. We're headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. Delta is literally investing billions of dollars in enhancing the customer experience. I mean, we really do understand that technology is a great way to advance our brand and to offer more personalized service to our customers. Delta was looking for a replacement for a point-of-sale device. It was large, a little clunky, not very user-friendly, and we had a vision to replace that device with a platform to allow us to do many more things.
Our Nokia devices with Microsoft Dynamics allows us to offer better service to our customers. We have it in the hands of every single flight attendant. So as an onboard sales device, now when they're working in the aisle, everybody has their own. When a sale is done, it transmits by connecting to GoGo in-flight. That transmission happens automatically.
The point-of-sale device was a great partnership between Microsoft, Avanade, and AT&T. It's really helping Delta on the back end to be able to use Microsoft Dynamics for credit card processing to make sure that we are getting accurate information, and we can get the information at 35,000 feet. The other thing that Microsoft Dynamics allows us to do is adjust ratios based on real-time information. So on a daily basis, we can adjust the quantities of what we have on board the airplane. As we move forward to be able to capture the information from our customers, it really is going to be able to get customers' preferences well in advance of them traveling with Delta. It gives a sense of pride to our flight attendants, and just the presentation alone is a better customer experience.
The Nokia product allows us to also access our Fly Delta app. That means that flight attendants have access to real-time flight information. That's a huge advantage, something we never had access to previously. It's about the personal service that we're going to be able to offer.
So this is a great example of bringing everything together. The people, the processes. They didn't show you in this particular video, but if a customer has something spilled on them, you can make it right at the point of sale. The flight attendant can put points on your account. They've really thought about the end-to-end customer experience. They've thought about end-to-end marketing, how to communicate what messages to their customers. But one of the things that doesn't come across so much there that I think is really important is they also had to capture a change in culture. We've all flown on many airlines, and the culture is not always the most customer-friendly, and Delta set out to do something really different. Microsoft also, as we go through all of these changes, as we do this work in devices, as we take leadership under a new CEO, is also very focused on evolving our culture. Now, there's many chief marketing officers here, or chief digital officers, and so on, and I know that many of you carry the responsibility to make the most important cultural change that most companies face. And that's to become truly customer-centric, to be listening, to really understand what the customers are saying. This is something that is incredibly important for Microsoft, is making that change. Now, as part of creating great devices in this world, we need your help to do some of the same thing. We must all obsess over our customers so that together our teams can deliver some of the best experiences that our customers are expecting. You're on the front line with us, and we value your input. Tell us what we need to do better. Tell us how we need to better connect, what we need to do to allow you to connect ultimately to your customer. We need ways of improving and enhancing what we do every day. Unlike any time before, today at Microsoft, we have the devices, we have the cloud operating system, we have the apps, we have the services, everything that empower us to delight people in an unimaginable way. So I think it's really important for me to end the conversation with you very much where I started, to put it all in perspective. And that is to recognize that these connected experiences that are so important today, they land on beautiful devices in all sorts of form factors. And we have to bring the very best of your customer offerings and land them with those people, using those devices. And it begins with mobility. So I'd like you to do something for us. When you're doing your work, start with mobility. It's what we talk about at Microsoft. It's a mobile-first and cloud-first world. We have to begin everything we do with that in mind. And in particular, make sure that everything you're doing is something that can scale from the smallest of devices to all of the different form factors. That is what's happening out there in our community. These are all extensions of us, so optimize for mobile experiences. Second, please, be the voice that insists that everything within your organizations or the organizations that you're serving, from sales to marketing, from the warehouse to customer care, and certainly IT, make sure it all fits together and is delivered in a beautiful way. It has to come together. We are all guilty of too often delivering solutions that are not well integrated. And third, and most importantly, obsess over our customers, our joint customers, because they expect nothing less. So for those of you who do these things, who get that mobility, who connect with those customers, you will be helping to support the brand, your brands, your customer brands, our brands, whatever it is, in a way that moves beyond just simple awareness and consideration and takes you instead to an endearing, transformative relationship with your loyal fans and followers. Thank you very much for your attention. I think we're going to take a question, but thank you.
Thank you, Stephen, for this very inspirational moment. A lot of questions on Twitter and Facebook. Let's grab one. Okay, this one about the Internet of Things. So after mobile and tablets, the Internet of Things look like the next frontier. There is a lot of hype around these topics. In your opinion, is it too soon for brands to go for it, or should they go and start to experiment?
So the Internet of Things is getting a lot of publicity. There's a lot of talk about everything from thermostats to light bulbs and all of those types of things. I will tell you that the power from a marketing perspective of the Internet of Things will be beyond anything we have ever seen before. And the reason for that is the real magic behind the Internet of Things is not that the light bulb knows when it's on or off, or someone knows what the temperature is in your house. It's the collection of all of that raw data, massive amounts of information about people, subject to privacy concerns. Because with that data culture, with that collection of data, we have the ability to tailor experiences, to learn new patterns, to see things that have never before been understood about the interaction with customers, about buying habits, or any of those things. How our products are used. We're interested in every fine detail of every click. We'd ultimately like to know all of that because we can make our products so much better based on that. So at Microsoft, we are investing, as we would always as a platform company, we're investing heavily. There are a number of announcements, even in the last 48 hours, about new products that help people work with very large volumes of data, that become the platform for Internet of Things applications. So it's going to be murky for a while. It's going to be hard to understand. But in terms of a next big wave, if you look at the number of PCs that were shipped, then the number of smartphones that were shipped, just imagine orders of magnitude more in terms of devices and capabilities, sometimes in the smallest of form factors, that will contribute to an understanding of what the customer is doing, what they're thinking, how they're using our products, and ultimately allowing us to communicate in a far more effective way. So I know at Microsoft, we're placing a clear bet on it as something that's important in the future.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thank you.
Marcel. Thank you.